I'm such and I'm here to present to you the domain name system and you. This is for Chi Wen's B101 Technology Context class. The first thing I'd like to do is explain what the domain name system is. Think of it as the phone book of the internet. A whole bunch of servers contain the actual lists, the IP address of every single website out there. Now, it's a distributed network. So let's think of it like this. You send a request for Cisco.com out to the internet. The top level domain server says, okay, I don't know where Cisco.com is, but I know where .com is. Sends you to the server that has the .com in it. This would be the top level domain server. .com, .edu, .gov, .mil, .uk, stuff like that. It then has another phone book. It says, okay, where is Cisco.com? Well, I don't know, but I know that this guy does. So it now sends it to the second level domain server, which actually has Cisco.com's IP address. Then that server sends your computer the IP address of Cisco.com. Then the two-way communication between you and the website can begin, and you can actually enjoy your website. This may seem like it takes a long time, but it actually happens in hundreds of milliseconds. Now, this is a very, very robust design that they've developed. It's a distributed network worldwide. As you can see with all of these pins, each one of those is a different server. So, if something were to happen to, let's say, California, for instance, then everything would be fine because all these other servers would take over and we would still have the internet as we know it. Let's say that Europe was under a massive thing. The internet would still survive because of all these different servers. Each one of these servers, once again, contains a very small part of the domain. Therefore, if one does happen to go down, the rest of the internet can survive. There's also multiple servers of the same type throughout different parts of the globe, once again to ensure redundancy. Now, think of it like this. The .com server, then you've got the Acme Tools, then you have another one that has the Acme Tools information, and then you have all these other ones. This is an example of how the actual domain system works. Top level, and it keeps going down to more and more servers until you get the region that actually goes and has all the information you need. Political influence. This is a very tricky subject, especially now. It's actually governed by the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, or ICANN. The United Kingdom has very little influence on the DNS, as they didn't develop it, and they actually only can influence one server, or one domain, called .uk. The US actually controls the DNS through the ICANN, but they haven't influenced the DNS yet. The Stop Online Piracy Act from the United States actually could. It could be the Great Firewall of America. I apologize. This could basically cripple the internet as we know it, and it's very, very bad. The Great Firewall of China is a perfect example of one already in place. Chinese government has decided everything that is sensitive, which is not helpful to their government, has no place in the internet, and therefore they have blocked all Chinese citizens from being able to see anything like Taiwan, the mascot, Tiananmen Square, etc. This is what could happen globally if that act actually gets enforced. Many other governments are also vying for direct control over the DNS to basically be able to do the same thing legally. They want to be able to stop certain websites, they want to stop domains from existing so that they can exert control. Now, is the DNS defenseless against other things besides the politics? Yes and no. There's a full-time staff to be able to combat physical events and electronic warfare. Some of these electronic warfare things are attacks, such as cache poisoning, denial of service, distributed denial of service, and many other things. Cache poisoning, for example, takes a bogus website and actually puts it into the phone book of the DNS. Therefore, anytime somebody wants to go to, let's say, HSBC, gets redirected to a bad website, and then all that information that you type in gets stored, and then your information is lost, and you basically are out all of your money. Denial of service and distributed denial of service, where actual people attack these servers. They attack the DNS servers. With the distributed DNS, the distributed denial of service, I apologize, is basically whenever one person controls thousands of different hosts and they all attack one server or a group of servers to try to take down part or all of the internet. This has happened many times before, and because of the staff at the DNS, it has actually been able to be withstood by distributing the load of these attacks, and the internet was able to continue, mostly unscathed. If y'all have any questions, these are my references. Feel free not to ask me any questions. Have a nice day.